Hello everybody, my name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as the Dramatic Otaku. This is the second part to my third video of the anime film reviews. As you would know if you watched the last film review, I ran out of time because I lost my voice, and yeah, also on the note of my Pokemon series, as you can tell by the last two videos, I'm continuing that series. I was having a bad day when I uploaded the last one of these videos. So yeah, also in the thumbnail I put Haikyuu in because I was originally going to review the Haikyuu movies, which are just summary films. I decided to take that out because I was running over time. So this is essentially just Free and Sailor Moon. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys next week. Roll intro card. We're starting on the big boys, Free. So we're starting with the first movie of the movie series and what continued Free after season 2, High Speed Free Starting Days.
I'll be in Australia instead. Yep, I'm gonna be in the Olympics.
Now, this is a backstory that uses the actual light novel as its reference, and what Free was based off. And if you didn't know, Free was based off of a light novel named High Speed, and all of the characters in Free were all aged up. So this is them all in middle school when the actual story takes place. The actual light novel takes place. And I don't know if that is strange or not, but we got Free and I still love Free, but yeah. That's for you to judge. Technically it builds off the plot, because it sets up backstory and context for season 3, and I want to say it kind of flips certain references from season 1 and 2 into the movie. Like, they add Ray into the film, and if you didn't know, Ray was not in the original High Speed novel. They added him into the Free universe just as an extra character, and you would know this if you had seen the concept film for Free, being the swimming anime. And if you find that, you see Rin, Haru, Makoto, and Nagisa, no Ray in sight. So yeah, out of all of the films, you should start with this one first. I've returned once again. So essentially in this section I was doing a bunch of talking about how you should watch the film, watch the series. Essentially the way you should probably watch the series is the way that it did come out. So that would be Iwatobi Swim Club, Eternal Summer, High Speed, Timeless Melody, Kizuna, Timeless Melody, Yakusoku, and then go into Take Your Marks, Dive to the Future, and then the two films that are coming out at the end of 2021 and going into 2022. Again, it is based off the original light novel and introduces 2 new characters. Oh no, 4. It introduces some new characters that were in the original series. It follows middle school Haru and Makoto and their entry into the swim club following Rin's departure to Australia. It is a decent film in on itself, and it feels good to actually see Haru's perspective of that time, as in the initial series we only got glimpses into his past with Rin and his past as a whole. My main downfall with this story, and this is the same gripe I have with the entire series as a whole after Eternal Summer, is you have to watch this film to understand the rest of the series. You have to watch it to understand Dive to the Future, and you have to watch it in the order that I gave you just before. Because A, it's the order and everything came out, and B, there are things you will not understand when watching season 3 if you do not watch this film first. And yeah, if you watch it chronologically, you're going to be seriously confused as to why Haru leaves the swim club in the first place, and get equally as confused as to why Ikuya was not a part of season 1 nor 2, nor Asahi. There was no mention of these guys, and why Rin was the only reason that Haru even left the swim club. Also, why Ikuya wasn't the reason of Haru not wanting to rejoin the swim club in high school, and why Rin is his only reason for wanting to join the swim club, not wanting to join the swim club in high school. Oh god, I'm fumbling over my words. There are plot points of the movie that they do expect you to know from watching the initial 2 seasons. For a fair bit you were confused as to what their connection to Rin is. And you don't know who the fuck Sosuke is? Like, these things they expect you to know from the original series. Now, it has been a while since I've watched the film itself, so they could have changed, I could be mistaken to what some of these things actually are, but to my memory, they did not explain this. And I only knew certain things because I had watched the original 2 seasons. I don't remember the conflict of Rin and Haru being in that movie, even though it's detrimental to how that movie ends. Or to how Ikuya, gets really mad at Haru and just, I don't think they explain that whatsoever. And I also remember Sosuke being in that film, but I don't remember him interacting with any of the characters. So that's there. Same with, Ray is just in there because, Ray. He's part of this, and they include him with one of the characters, Asahi, and that leads into season 3, and they have a connection and whatever. But Ray's only in there because he's someone who's important in the initial series. That's it. But yeah, that is my main critique of the film, that there are so many little things in there that aren't just explained and that you have to know from the original series, and you can't watch this in chronological order without knowing those things. If you're interested in watching the whole series of 3, you are obligated to watch this film. Otherwise, you will absolutely have no clue who Ikuya or Asahi is in Dive to the Future. They have small hints in Dive to the Future, but if you want to know the entire story, you have to watch this film, just to know why they are so damn important to the series itself, as well as the fact that certain really powerful moments just seem really confusing, like Ikuya and Haru having that moment under the stars. You do not understand that unless you watch the film. They included that in the actual series, but unless you watch the film, you don't know the impact. It's confusing when you watch season 3 and not understand any of these things, because for a while I forgot completely about season 3, or the movie, when watching season 3. Honestly, from the studio's perspective, it is actually a very clever marketing technique. However, as a viewer, it is really annoying, so 6 out of 10 for me. Visually, very beautiful, but after Eternal Summer, I really was not interested into diving into the future. Or, in this case, diving into Haru's past anymore. I had enough antagonists at Sosuke, and I really don't even like Ikuya all that much. I will still support the series and watch the new film that is coming out, as the initial series holds a really high place in my heart. However, I really think the series should have ended at season 2. The next film in the Free series, Free Timeless Melody Kizuna. Now this is a summary story of season 2 from Haru's perspective. You know, the main character of the film. Not the film, you know what? Of the film, of the series, of the entire thing. You know, let's just have a movie that's just from Haru's perspective and take out all of the funny bits and just put the main serious bits of season 2. It's just Iwatobi and just Haru's perspective of the entire series. The only reason you would watch this film is for the very small sneaky inclusion of Ikuya at the end. Very sneaky. Very small. It is like maybe 30 seconds to a minute long. So really, I would just search up the end of Kizuna on YouTube and watch that instead of watching this whole film. Unless you want to support the studio, then go right ahead, because, you know, you should. So this one is a 4 out of 10 for me. Now, the next one, Free Timeless Melody Yakusoku. I think that's how it's said. Here's the name of it on screen. This one is much better than the first one. It is the twin film to Kizuna, and this is a half summary, half build-off film, as it is essentially season 2, but from Rin's perspective. And here's the thing, it starts off with something new. It starts off with Rin's dad. And if you watched the first 2 seasons, you would know the only visuals we have of Rin's dad is him as a child. Now we get adult Rin's dad. Yes! Oh my god, I was so happy and so surprised when I saw this. I saw this all over Instagram and I had to watch the film for myself. And this was so much better than Kizuna. It had parts of the story and new sections that the audience had never seen before, and again, it is all from the team Samuzuka's perspective, particularly Rin's. And I absolutely love seeing that, and again, I love seeing more of Rin's backstory, specifically his dad as an adult, because I could not take Rin's backstory seriously when all we saw was his dad as a child. So this film for me gets 7 out of 10. Yes, higher than High Speed. I love Samazuka. It is my favorite team. Rin is my favorite character. And I loved seeing Rin's dad so much. So that's what this film gets. Free Road to World. Now this is one that completely flew over my head as it only came out earlier this year. Now this is also a summary movie, because we love those. And this one is a summary film of season 3. Yay! Oh my god. So it has the same cliffhanger at the end of the film. It is exactly the same, only, and once again, they took out most of the good parts for the important parts. So I'm going to give it a similar rating that I gave to Kizuna, which is 3 out of 10. As I've said before, Free really ended for me at season 2. I don't think that it needed a season 3, nor all of these films. I will still support it, but I didn't think it needed it, and Dive to the Future was not my favourite season out of all of them. Now onto the next series, stopping talking about Free, we're going with Sailor Moon. First of all, we've got Sailor Moon R, the movie. I had some criticisms about this movie, as I had for the entire 90s run of the original anime. Especially now that I've completely finished the manga, I have a few things to say about both series, which I'll probably make a nothing video on about the entire Sailor Moon anime. Sailor Moon R, the movie. This is a side story that does not affect the 90s anime and is not in the original manga series at all. Basically an alien who once knew Mamoru as a child and has come back as an adult and is in love with him. This alien then kidnaps Mamoru and turns out he was brainwashed by a flower. That is the plot of the film. Or it's a little more complicated than that, but that's what it is in the most simplest of terms. Essentially, this is a really long episode of the 90s anime Sailor Moon, and I have a few gripes with this film, mainly that it does not fit into any of the Sailor Moon timelines. It is a standalone film. It doesn't fit into the original timeline, even though some of the characters in the movie look like characters in the actual timeline of the 90s anime, but they're not connected for some reason. Basically on that, they reuse the same alien model as they do as two of the characters, or two of the antagonists in season 2 of Sailor Moon, which is Sailor Moon R. Duh. That's why it's Sailor Moon R the movie. I think that's the only reason why it's Sailor Moon R the movie and not Sailor Moon the movie. Essentially just because it has those characters, or that character model, in it. And that's the only excuse that they have for making this film, I think. Using the same model of the character made me believe they were the same species, but you don't know if they are or not. And I am still never 100% sure. It's an okay movie, but it really just does feel like an extra long episode of Sailor Moon that they did not know where to put in the actual series, thus it's standalone, and thus it pisses me off. I give it a 5 out of 10. Now on to Sailor Moon S, the movie. This is very reminiscent of both the finale of season 1 and the plot of the first movie. Sailor Moon S is a story with two main plot lines, switching between the point of view of Luna, and who has fallen in love with a human, and the Sailor Scouts are battling an ice demon. Sorry, not an ice demon, an ice alien. Now you can sort of see where the reminiscent of season 1 finale comes in. So this ice alien wants to add Earth to part of her collection, and Luna is trying to help her love interest. I don't know why it's a love interest. But it makes it definitely seem like that. And there is something about this movie that I do actually really, really love. It's the fact that they actually use Luna's design, human design should I say, from the original manga. So the design that they show Luna in her human form as is her canonical form in the end of the manga. So if you see any fan art of Artemis, Luna, and Diana, which is spoilers for those who have not seen very far into the series and those who have not read the manga whatsoever, Diana is Sailor Chibi Moon's protector other than Luna P, and she is Artemis and Luna's daughter. So if you see those three as humans, just know that those are actually the canonical designs of the cats, and that they do actually turn into humans in the original manga. The design in Sailor Moon S, the movie, official design of Luna as a human. So that is the thing I like most about this film. It's one of the only things I like about this film. And I do absolutely adore that. And of note, I did mention earlier that one of the reasons I wanted the Sailor Moon Shorts books is because it may have bits that weren't included in the manga, that weren't in the original release of the the manga series. Like if it was included in anime magazine, maybe anime magazine, something like Shonen Jump, if it was included in something like that, maybe there was certain parts that were taken out and now they're putting in the Sailor Shorts series. And I only say that because this movie itself was based off what I found to be a one-shot from the manga itself. Once I get the Sailor Moon Shorts books, I can confirm or deny this. So I'm here to confirm that in the second of the short story series is the story of Princess Kaguya, or at the very least the story that is portrayed in Sailor Moon S the movie. If you immediately just open this book, you'll see just a bunch of pictures of Luna in her human form, and about the third or fourth page in, it is the poster for Sailor Moon S the movie. Essentially, now I've read this completely, it is exactly the same story. There are some differences between the movie and the short story itself. This is a one-shot. The actual story itself is called Princess Kaguya's Lover, and yet it is mostly the same. There are a few differences. For example, this is predominantly from Luna's perspective. There is very little of the scouts fighting in this book compared to the movie, at the very least. In the movie, there is a lot of going back and forth between Luna and the scouts, whereas predominantly in this, it is just Luna. I would 100% give this a read. If you can get this, give it a read. I ordered this and I took out all the bits where I'm complaining about it, but it took about 8 months for this to arrive, mainly because I had to get it on order. It was this and the first one. But if you've read the entire series and you want another book, get this. It does have the Sailor Moon S plot in it. Sailor Moon S the movie, plot. And the plot itself, from memory, is about the story itself is about half the book. Yeah, it's about 3/4 of the book. So yes, I cannot confirm nor deny if this came out before the film or if Naoko Takeuchi collaborated on the film. She kind of have had to if this is her publication. So I don't know if this came out before the film or after it and she assisted on the film. I don't know, I can't confirm that, but yes, I can confirm this does in fact have the plotline for Sailor Moon S the movie, and the plotline for Sailor Moon S the movie was most likely derived from this short story, whether it was before it was released or after it was released. So yes, that is it. Continue with the video. The movie itself is, once again, very much like the first one. However, I enjoyed this one a lot more just because of Human Luna. But I wish there was more of her because she is right there on the goddamn cover. Come on! This movie gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Finally, I can say thank you so much for watching. Again, these are my opinions and incredibly biased. So incredibly biased. I made this originally with satirical intention. Please don't take this series too seriously, again, because it's all of my opinions. Your opinions may be completely different. Leave your opinions, if you do have them, in the comments down below. Once again, I may make a 4th part, or if this has actually been split into 4, I may make a 5th part that is the rest of the Ghibli films. And I may include Sailor Moon Super S the movie. I may include, what was the other movie that I hadn't watched yet? The other free film that I didn't watch. I might hunt that down somewhere and watch it if I can find it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I've lost my voice, which was the point of making this video, so I wouldn't have to post the recording that I deleted because I had lost my voice. But thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. We are not ending here. I am making another one. It won't be for a little while that I will make this video. However, another one is coming. And it's not just gonna be just Ghibli films, just series films, it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be the remix. That probably won't be coming for a couple of months though, because there are movies that I need to watch. There are movies that I left out of this series, like the 2 My Hero movies, because I want to watch the 3rd one and then have a whole like section dedicated to that. And yeah. So it's coming. I'm actually binging all of the Ghibli films as well. So it's coming soon, probably in a couple of months.